Okay, ma'am. Why don't you tell me your name and the name of the police department and what happened to you?
My name is Latoya Austin. The police department is Upland Park Police Department. And in 2000, I can't really remember the date. Until 2000, in 2006, I got pulled over by Upland Park Police Department officer. And when he pulled me over, the first thing he said was for me to roll my windows down. He thought it was a guy. So I rolled down all my windows, and then he came to the car and he asked me, did I know why he was pulling me over? And I told him I didn't know. And he said that because he saw that he knew that my tip tag and my window was fake. And he asked me to see my registration and my paperwork. But I had just I had another Grand Prix before I got the one that I have now, and from the same company, the same make and model and everything. So I had both of my registration papers in the car, and I tried to show him those registration papers, and he said that it didn't match. The VIN number didn't match. So he ran my VIN number in my window, and he came back and said that my car was reported stolen. I showed him my insurance card. I showed him the payment book from the payment company where I got my car from. He still didn't want to see any of that, and he told me to get out the car. While I was out the car, he searched my car. He made my friend get out the car and told her to call a ride because he was going to tow my car. So while we were sitting outside the car, he searched my car. And then when the tow truck guy came, he put me in the back of the car, that's his car, and my friend was getting ready to leave because somebody had came to pick her up, and the tow truck driver got in my car and put my car on the flatbed. And when he put my car on the flatbed, I told the officer to ask him could he get my cell phone, which was in the seat of my car. So he got back in my car, and he had to reposition it back on the flatbed. He got my cell phone out of the car, and he went back around to the passenger side. And I don't know what the tow truck driver was doing in there, but when he came back up, he wanted the officers to come here. So when the cop went to the tow truck driver, the cop came back with a cigarello box saying, asking me if was that box mine, and I told him no, and he said that it had marijuana in it, and I said, you had just searched my car, and you didn't find anything in my car, so all of a sudden now are you saying that you found marijuana or that tow truck driver found marijuana in my car? So when we got to the police station, I was upset. The cop was upset. He was saying rude stuff to me, and I told him that I was pregnant even before he put me in the police car. And because I told him that I have my pregnancies are very. I can't get upset, and I can't, just be stressed while I'm pregnant because I have high risk pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to the police department, I told him that my stomach had started hurting, and I thought that he needed to call the ambulance because my son was hurting real bad and it was getting worse. So he told me that he was going to wait. I wouldn't have to wait until he got done with his paperwork, and he was going to take his time to do his paperwork. And then another officer, a male officer, they had called from Delta City Police Department to come and search me. So when she got there to search me, she took me in the bathroom, and I told her that my son was hurt, and I went to cops to call the police, call the ambulance because I know that I was pregnant and my stomach was hurting real bad. So she said that she was going to have him, once he got done searching me, she was going to have him call the ambulance or whatever. So when she got finished searching me, he was right back out, and she told him that told her that my stomach was hurting, and I wanted him to call the ambulance for me. And he said, well, why would we call the ambulance? I just found weed in her car, so she's smoking, so she's going to kill the baby anyway. So finally he called the ambulance.
Hold it. Can you repeat to me what he said to you again?
He didn't say it to me, he said it to the other officer. He asked her why would they call the ambulance for me because he found weed in my car, and he said that I was smoking weed and I was going to kill my baby anyway.
And he said that in front of you.
Yes, he said that in front of me.
What was the officer's name? Well, hold on. What was the officer's name?
I can't remember. I don't even know the officer's name because I didn't get his name.
Would you know him? Hold on. Would you know him if you saw him?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and continue.
So when the ambulance got there, they took my blood pressure. They said that my blood pressure was real high, and they wanted me to take me to the hospital. At first he still didn't want to let me go, but the ambulance driver said that being that I'm pregnant and that my blood pressure is high the way that it is, and that I'm saying that I'm having these pains in my stomach, they had to take me to the emergency room. When I got to the emergency room, it was late because I had already had a miscarriage.
So you did have a miscarriage, and he was out there making these remarks while you were requesting medical help.
Yes, I did have a miscarriage.
And when did this happen? This happened in 2006?
Yes, it was in 2006. And my lawyer, after that, the next day, my husband went up to the police department to get the release paper for my car, and he had talked to, I guess, the sergeant for Upland Park. And the sergeant can understand why the cop had told my car, because my husband had showed the sergeant the paperwork to my car, showing that everything was legit. I had just got the car. So it wasn't time for me to get my tags. I still had the temp tags was still good. So we went to my lawyer's office. When we went to the lawyer's office, she said that I couldn't sue the officer until after I got done with the case, because it would make it look like I just wanted to sue him because he had gave me those tickets.
So
Was supposed to be.
is the case over with now?
No, she went to court. She went to court twice, and she asked for my case to be moved out of Upland Park to St. Louis County so I could have a trial date. They didn't. They didn't do that, and I just found out last week that they put a warrant out for my arrest, saying that I didn't appear in court, but my lawyer did appear in court for me. And when I called my lawyer, she called the prosecuting attorney's office, the prosecuting attorney for Upland Park, and he said that he was going to have the warrant released because he knew that my case was supposed to have been moved out of Upland Park to St. Louis County. And he was going to try to have the hold on my driver's license with it, because that's how I found out that I had the warrant out for my arrest, is because I went to go and get my driver's license renewed. So before I got in contact with my lawyer, I called Upland Park Police Department, because the Jefferson City license bureau gave me their number and wanted me to call them, because I really didn't know why I had the hold on my driver's license. So when I called Upland Park, some lady answered the phone, and my lawyer said it was their secretary for Upland Park. When I was trying to ask her about my case or why I have a hold on my driver's license, and she asked me what was my name, and I gave her my name, and she came back and she said, "You know why you have a warrant?" She said, "You know why there's a hold on your driver's license, and also, oh, by the way, you have a warrant out for your arrest because you didn't come to court." I said, "Yes, I did. I came to court twice." She's like, "Well, you have a warrant out for your arrest. Are you coming up here to take care of the body?" And hung up on me. So I called her back, and I was upset when I called her back. And I said some things to her. She said some things to me. And then by that time, my lawyer had actually called me back and said that she had spoke with the prosecuting attorney, and he said that he was going to have the warrant taken off of me and try to have the hold on my driver's license released, but he wasn't for sure if that could happen because I got into it with the secretary. So the next day, when my lawyer called me back, she said the prosecuting attorney stated that he wasn't going to take the warrant off of me, and he wasn't going to release the hold on my driver's license because the secretary for Upland Park said that she didn't think that he could do that because I got smart with her.
So let me ask you. I have a few questions for you. Is your attorney a public defender, or are you paying an attorney to help you?
I paid her.
Okay, and she's representing you in the criminal case that they have against you?
Yes.
Okay. Are you happy with what she's doing, or are you having problems?
I don't know, because I know only thing I can go by is what she told me. She told me that she went to court, and I know that the prosecuting attorney did ask her, because the prosecuting attorney wanted to drop the charges, all the charges that the cops gave me, and drop them down to misdemeanors. And I told her no, I didn't want to do that. So I know she had to get that, and she had wanted to set it up for a trial date.